Hello and welcome to this session on Git and GitHub. This is the second session and today we will start with installing Git and adding our files and folder to track the changes. So today we are going to learn how do we download and install Git. We will also create a free account on GitHub. We will add a folder and a file to Git to track the changes, and then we will add our repository to GitHub. So let us begin and let us see. Step number one is we have to check if Git is already installed. So because I am on Mac, I will go to my terminal, and in case you are on Windows, I will have a separate session on getting started with Git and GitHub on Windows. On this session, I will install and start with Git on a Mac. So what you have to do is we have to go to your terminal and say git space hyphen hyphen version. Okay, now in my case, because Git is already installed, I am getting this Git version. In case it is not installed, you will get something like command not found. So let us assume Git is not installed on your system and you are getting command not found. So what you have to do is, so let me just write down. You have to go to terminal and you have to say git space hyphen hyphen version. Please note there is no space here, it is double hyphen. I have to give a space because it is not taking it merges the two dashes, so it is git space hyphen hyphen version. Now step number 2 is download and install Git. So what we are going to do is go to Google and say Git. The very first site that you will get is gitscm.com. Go here and here you can find download Git. So you can download it from here, and if the download does not start, you can click here to download it manually. Okay, so in my case it is already downloaded, so I will just go to my folder and see where is my Git installed. So in my downloads I can see, yes, this is the file that got downloaded. You will double click here and you will do the installation. So as you do installation of any other software, it will guide you. You can just click continue and you can install it, right? I am canceling it right now because I already have it installed. Once you have installed it, you should go to your terminal again. You can create a fresh session of the terminal and again you will say git space hyphen hyphen version, and this time you should be getting the version of Git that is installed on your system. As of now my version is 2.10. okay, so this should install uh, Git on your system. Okay, the third step should be, I'll just copy this site as well so that you can see from here. Okay, now step number 3 will be sign up and create a free account on GitHub. We can do this later as well, but because we want to add our username and our email to Git, we will first create an account on GitHub. So again, you can go to uh, GitHub. This is the site for GitHub, github.com. Okay, and let me sign out. You can go to sign up, and here you can create your account. You will give your username, email, password, and you can create a free account. Okay, so once you have created the account, you can sign into your account. Okay, so this is my account, right? So you just have to create an account and on GitHub. So once you have downloaded, installed Git, and you have already created an account on GitHub, now we can start with Git on our system, right? So let us say the step number 4 will be add your GitHub email and username to Git. So what does this mean is you just have to do this. Go to a terminal and you have to run these two commands: git config global user.email and whatever email you used to sign up on GitHub, and then git config global user.name whatever username you used, right? So you will just go to your uh, terminal and you will give these two commands. Okay, so in my case I will say automation.qa.scl at gmail.com, and the username that I have used on GitHub is this one. So just you have to run these two commands. The reason we want to add our email and our username is because whenever we commit any changes from this system, this will already know that this is the user who is committing these changes, and in your GitHub repository all the changes and commits will be shown by this particular name, whatever username you are using, right? So that is why we add our email and username. Okay, now when we have added it, let us start adding our files and folders. So step number 5 will be add file or folders to Git, and this is we are doing it for tracking the changes. So now the actual work of Git starts, right? So let us do one thing. Let me go to, let us create a folder and file that we want to track. So I'm going to tools. On my desktop I have a Git folder, and let me hide the sidebar, and here I will create a new folder, and let me name it my folder. Okay, and what we have to do is I want to track all the changes and I want to add all the contents of this particular folder to Git. What I will do is I will go to my terminal and first I will go to the location of this folder. So I will go to this folder is located at desktop, tools, Git, my folder. Okay, so let me go inside it. Now I have gone inside this folder on my terminal. So the very first thing that I have to do is I will also write it down here. So step 6 is our actual commands of Git are starting. So I will give it as the name as command, and the very first thing we have to do is on the terminal go to the location of the folder, or it can be a project. In case you want to add the source code, you will go to the location of the project, and then you will say git init, right? So as soon as I will say git init, you can see initialized empty git repository in this particular location. So what it has done is it has added a hidden folder by the name .git, and we cannot see it because we are not able to see the hidden files and folders as of now. So in case you want to see that folder in Mac, you have to run this command defaults right and the rest of the thing yes, and when you want to hide the folders, then you will say no here. As of now I want to say yes and run this, Then I will press Option and Command key on my keyboard and right click on Finder and click Relaunch. Okay, so now you can see this hidden folder .git on this particular folder that we have added, right? Now the second command is git status. Okay, now this is a very handy command, and you can let me type git status now, and you can say nothing to commit because we have not added anything, right? Let us add some file here. So let me say touch test1.txt. So you can see I have added a file here. Okay, now if I say git status, it is showing me that there are some untracked files. Okay, so now because git is tracking this folder, whatever changes or additions you make in this folder will be seen by git, and because we have not added this file for tracking, it is showing us that this file is added but it is not being tracked, and to track we have to use git add. Okay, so the next command that we have to do is git add. So what I will do is I will say git add and the file name. Now again let us go to git status and see what is the status now, and now you can see this is in green, right? So this is now being tracked but still it is not committed. So the next thing that we have to do is commit it, right? So the next thing we will do is git commit. Okay, and we also give a message while committing that this message will be shown in the repository when we commit it. So we will say -m and whatever message we want to give. Okay, so here I will say git commit -m and I can say edit test1.txt. Now you can see git status, and now everything is clean, nothing to commit. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us make some changes in this file, and let me say this is change 1. Okay, I made some changes, and let us also create a new file. So I will say touch index.html. So you see I have made some changes in this file which is already being tracked by git, and I have also added a new file called index.html. Now let us do git status and see what is the status now. Now you can see it is showing us that there are two changes. One is the modification in the file which is already being tracked, and then there is addition of a new file which is not being tracked. Okay, now we have to add it, right? So we can say git add. Now suppose you have multiple files or changes that you have not added. What you can do is in git add you can also use wildcard characters. For example, you can say star.txt so that all the files with extension txt will get added. You can do star.star, everything will get added, or you can do git add dot, which will add everything within that particular project or folder. So I'm doing git add, and now let me do git status, and you can see both these files are ready to be committed. Okay, so now I can say git commit -m, and I have added index.html, and I have modified test1.txt. Okay, let us do git status, and everything is clean. Okay, so till now we have learned how can we add our project or a folder or a file to Git for tracking. How can we do the changes, add the changes, and then commit it, right? Now we want to create a remote repository and add all our project and files and folders to the remote repository. Okay, so now we will create a remote repository on GitHub. So sign into your GitHub account, and here you can go to new repository. Okay, click here. You can give some name. Let me give repo1 and let it be public and create a repository. And here you have got the location of this repository. You can copy it from here, and then here you will say on your terminal, you will say git remote add origin and paste the location of the repository. Okay, and click enter. So now this is being added, but still if you go to your repository and see, you will not find anything here because we have still not pushed the changes, so we have to push it, right? So let me also add this here. The next command is git remote add origin and the location of remote repository. Okay, but now we will push the changes to the remote repository. So we will say git push -u origin master. So master is the main branch, and by default this is the will go to the master branch. So I will say this and press enter, and now you can see something is getting added, right? All these things are getting added to the remote repository, and it is 100% complete. So let me also write here git push -u origin master. Okay, now if you go to your repository and refresh it, you should see all the changes and all the additions. So we added index.html, test1.txt, everything has come here, and the last additions or commit will be shown up. And see, now it is showing this username, right? This is showing because in the initial steps we added our email and GitHub username to our Git. So that was the reason we added it, right? So now whatever changes you do will be pushed here and tracked here. Okay, so this is how we can add our repository to the remote. Okay, then there are some other commands, like you can say git log. This will show you the log of whatever you have done. So I have added index.html and I have added test.txt. This will show that. You can do git space -- help, and this will show you all the options you have for GitHub. Okay, so for uh, for branching, checkout, then for collaborate you have pull, push and fetch. So we will see all these options in our next session. Okay, so I hope we were able to create a git repository. We added a git to our system, and then we also added a project or folder or files to tracking and pushed it to GitHub. Okay, so hope you like it. Keep learning. In our next session we will learn more commands of Git. Thank you for watching.